Good evening, students. So welcome back to our online session of digital signal processing and application class. In today's sessions, we are more concerned with our concepts related to our unit 2, which is about your FFT. We are going to see the butterfly diagram. We already have seen that one, DIT, FFT and DIF FFT. The same concept we are going to proceeding with that, students. So let us go ahead with that same discussions. So what else we do have, we just want to see how it is effectively going to be used for it, and what else we are going to utilize for our digital signal processing and application system. Okay, so based upon that only we are going to utilize that. So in that we are going to proceed with the same concept. So let us move ahead with our today's session. So in students, the main concept of today's session, we are concerned with our DIT-FFT and DIF-FFT. We are going to see some concepts related to that, and we are going to proceed with that. How do we get that? We already talk about the bit reverse order, right? Bit reverse order, how do we obtain? When we talk about DIT-FFT, when we talk about DIF-FFT, we already covered about that, right? So in the same scenario, we are going to learn about it. Once the DIT-FFT and DIF-FFT, if you know the difference of that, it will be easy for you to design and attempt the 10 marks question. So in DIT-FFT, it is all about decimation in time, fast Fourier transform. In DIF-FFT, it is about decimation in frequency, fast Fourier transform. So both the things we already know about it. So now we just want to concern with the concepts. How do we design that butterfly diagram and the computation analysis? So as we know that when we do have n is equals to 4 point, n is equals to 2 point, n is equals to 8 point, when we talk about different samples values for it, so whenever we see that sample values, we try to find out their analysis. So when we see their analysis, affectionately whatever the values we just want to see, whatever the things like input, if you take normal order, if the output is taken in bit reverse order, then we have to first analyze the input value, right, by considering the feedback. So what we have learned in the previous session, we talk about the previous session is all about the analysis part. So how do we analyze that, how effectively we can design that one, we already talk about those concepts in the previous session as well. So in that we just want to see, students, so DIF-FFT, if you see this one, this is the 2 points, n is equals to 2 points. Already I've explained it, just I'm taking a quick recap so as to understand the further concepts. So A and B, if you have the feedback, so when I take the values for it, like A is given and B is given, if I want to see the A minus B, we multiply with Wn of R. Whatever the values we do have, we just want to multiply that one, A, and we add the B, because it's directly, right, we don't have any feedback for the first line. A passing from here and B is passing from there, it will be added both the things and it will obtain like A plus B. Similarly for the second part, we had a weighting sequence, right, Pradal factor. So Wn of R we are taking and A. So since it's a feedback, right, so feedback always will multiply with minus 1. So A minus B of Wn of R. This is what n is equals to, how many points, students? This is n is equals to 2 points. Similarly, when you do have n is equals to 4, radix 2, DIF-FFT algorithm for number of samples is 4. So input is in normal order, output is in bit reverse order for DIF-FFT. Whereas for DIT-FFT, it is vice versa. So in this inputs we took it, we are just multiply with W4 power 0, W4 power 1, we are taking at this corner, right? So it is what reverse it. If you see this particular diagram, if you compare with the DIT-FFT, so this will be there at the output end and these are there at the input end, right? So if we are doing the reverse now, so in DIF-FFT, when n is equals to 4 samples, these are our input values, we are taking the stages A, B, C, D. So we want to cross multiply and we want to write it down. So what is the A value, tell me what I can write for A? X of 0 plus X of 2. This is for A. Note down this thing. What is B value? I can write X of 1 plus X of 3, right? Without that, we are directly adding. Now, when we do have weighting sequence, the feedback came here. So it is minus 1 here, minus 1 here. So for C, what I can write? I can write X of 0 minus X of 2 of W4 power 0. Likewise, A minus B, Wn of R. In this way, what I can write for the C value? X of 0 minus X of 2, W4 power 0. So for D, what I can write? X of 1 minus X of 3, W4 of 1. So this is my input for stage 1 analysis. Likewise, for the stage 2, what I can write? For X of 0, I can write as this A, capital A plus capital B. Directly I'll get X of 0. For X of 2, what I can write? A minus B, because the feedback, no, whenever we get the weighting sequence, that indicates it's a feedback. So X of 2, I can write A minus B, W4 power 0. So that point I can mention there. So what for C I can write? C for, sorry, X of 1, what I can write? C plus D directly. There is no feedback. Whenever we get the feedback, when we do have a Pradal factor. Now what is X of 3, students? X of 3 is C minus D of W4 power 0. So this is nothing but the signal flow graph for radix 2 DIF-FFT algorithm for n is equals to How many samples? 4 samples. Similarly, if you see n is equals to 8 sample, that would be like this. The signal flow graph and the stages of computation for radix 2 decimation in frequency fast Fourier transform algorithm for n is equals to 8 samples can be written like this. So for that, what are the input values? We're taking a direct normal order, output is in bit reverse order, right? 0, 4, 2, 6, 6, 1, 5, 3, 7. So bit reverse means whatever the bit is there, we try to take a reverse of it, we try to write the values for that. So for the first stage, we try to combine 4, 4, right? After that we combine 2, 2, then we combine single, single, right? A single pairs, as you can see here. And what are the weighting sequence? W8 of 0, W8 of 1, W8 of 2, W8 of 3. These are my inputs. So A1, B1, C1, D1 because it's stages for stage 1. Stage 2 will be A2, B2, C2, D2. Like this we mentioned stages 2. Now what is the A1 actually? I can write x of 0 and the line is coming from x of 4. So x of 0 plus x of 4 is the value of A1. What is B1? X of 1 plus x of 5. For C1, x of 2 plus x of 6. Right? The line, whenever it touching the line, that line we have to consider. What is D1? X of 3 plus x of 7. So these are my values, right, students? So we can write those values. Now for E1, what I can write, students? X of 0 minus x of 4 because this is a feedback. So we have to take both the value, then we subtract and multiply with W8 power 0. What is F1? X of 1 minus x of 5 of W8 of 1. For G1, x of 2 minus x of 6, W8 of 2. For H1, x of 3 minus x of 7, W8 of 3. So these are my stage 1 analysis for DIFFT. What about A2 students? For A2 I can write A1 plus C1, right? That is A2. What is B2? B1 plus D1, right? We don't have any feedback till here. Whenever we get total factor W8 of 0, W8 of 1, W8 of 2, W8 of 3, we can write the total factor for that particular analysis. So for C2 what I can write? A1 minus C1 of W8 power 0. For D2 what I can write? B1 minus D1 of W8 of 2. What is E2 I can write, students? E2 is what? E1 plus G1. F2 F1 plus H1. For G2 what I can write? E1 minus G1 of W8 of 0. Likewise for H2 F1 minus H1 of W8 of 2. Clear? So whenever we get the feedback, that feedback only we need to consider and we have to write down the values for it. So this is the stage 2 analysis. Now we look into the output stage now directly. What is x of 0? What value can write, students? Whatever we applied, whatever the values we receive here at here point, that value we have to take and the B2. So what is x of 0, students? X of 0 will be A2 plus B2. This A2 plus B2. For x of 4 what I can write? A2 minus B2 of W8 of 0. This is my x of 4. What is C2 students? What is x of 2 students? It is, what is x of 2 is reaching to C2 plus D2, right? This is the x of 2 coming from this C2 point and D2 point. Similarly for x of 6, I can write C2 minus D2 of W8 of 0. Clear? So likewise we can analyze all the values. This is in bit reverse order. So output we can write by all the values we need to get after analyzing this complete signal flow graph for radix 2 n is equals to 8 point DIFFT. Okay, so this is the way we can write. So what are the difference of these two? So important thing is that what is the difference? If you understand, it will be easy for you to design DITFFT as well as DIFFT. So as you can see, in DITFFT students, we are considering the decomposition of input sequence into smaller and smaller subsequence. Whatever the decomposition we are doing, we are completely doing that particular part by decomposing to smaller and smaller subsequence. Whereas in DIFFT, what I'm assuming, DIFFT algorithm are based upon decomposition of output sequence, not input sequence. Here we are considering the decomposition of output sequence into the smaller and subsequence. So input, if you're decomposing, that is DITFFT, that is decimation in time, fast Fourier transform. If you talk about DIFFT, if you're putting the decimation in frequency, fast Fourier transform, you're going to deals with that particular sequence. So this two we have to see. So once we are analyze both the functions, once we see both the functions for it, we can able to understand their functionality. Likewise, in this input sequence, x of n is split into even and odd number of samples. In this output sequence is considered to be even and odd number of samples, right? But bit reverse order. So what is our input output we are seeing? See here, we are making into even and odd number of samples, right? This is our this 0, 2, 1, 3, and this. Let me just go ahead with 8 samples. Yeah, 0, 4, 2, 6. This is even. 1, 5, 3, 7 is odd number of samples. So we are splitting into output end. This we are splitting it at the input end. So splitting is done on the input domain in time domain sequence, here in frequency domain. And the DIT FFT input sequence is in bit reverse order, right? Input is in bit reverse order, whereas in DIF FFT, input is in normal order, natural order, and the output is in bit reverse order, right? So that is what we have mentioned in both the things. That's the difference of both the DIT FFT and DIF FFT. There are a lot more points in that, so we can write those things. But what is the direct difference of direct competition? Why we are going into Radix 2? Radix 2 is what the graphs, whatever we're designing. Why it is very important for us to draw the graph and solve? Why can't we use a formula? So directly, if you use a formula, that requires large number of computation. Whereas if you use the graph, it will be easy for you to analyze the answer. The same answer you will get if you do with the graph or with direct formula, right? So here direct computation requires large number of computation as compared to the FFT. Whereas in FFT, the Radix 2 computation algorithm required less number of computation. The processing time is more and more for large number of samples, hence processor remain busy. If you apply direct formula, as already have said that, it requires large number of computation. That's the reason the processor is always busy with the processing part. Whereas here in FFT, the processing time is less because the algorithm computation DFT very quickly, because we are only comparing with the graphs and we are trying to just cross multiply and we are simplifying the answers. That become quite easy, and your processor will be doing that particular operation in a very quicker manner. There is not required much kind of computation. Whereas third point of direct computation is that direct computation does not require splitting operations. So in direct computation, we are not splitting anything. Directly we are taking the samples, we are substituting the formula. If you are applying DFT, direct discrete Fourier transform, or IDFT, in our discrete Fourier transform, we are directly substituting those number of samples into the formula and we are able to find the answer. Whereas in signal flow graph with fast Fourier transform with Radix 2 method, we are splitting into the part so that whatever the domain we are assuming, if it is DIT or DIF, we are splitting operation on the time and frequency domain based upon their particular operation. Fourth point on both the thing is that, students, so as value of n is in DFT increases because the efficiency of direct computation decreases. So whenever we try to find out their efficiency, whenever we see their n values in DFT, it is increasing. Whereas in Radix 250, as the value of n in DFT increases, the efficiency of FF algorithm is also increases because it required less number of computation. That's the reason the values in DFT, if it's increasing, efficiency of DFFT also increases because only we need to draw the graph. Whereas suppose if you take n is equals to 8 samples for discrete Fourier transform, to solve the stage 1 only, it will take a lot of time for finding x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, because every value we have to substitute and we need to find out the answer. Now fifth point, in those applications where DFT is to be compared only at selected values of k, frequency values, and when these values are less than log 2 of n, then direct computation become more efficient. So when we are doing such application, like when we are computing the values of k, the values of k is not getting easily because log 2 of n required the more number of computation to solve that. When we are happening that kind of situation, then our direct computation is preferable when compared to Radix 2 FFT algorithm. Whereas the Radix 2 FFT algorithm is applicable and it is used in the linear filtering, digital filtering design. We are using those kind of concepts. We are able to find their answer. Clear? So that's how we had DIT FFT and DIF FFT algorithm difference of both the sequence for the first one and for the second one. So next we just proceed with finding their answer for it. So let's move with that concept. Since we don't have Goertzel's algorithm, this is not there now. So the next we are proceeding with our next topic. How do we write? What are the structures of your? I said right. We are going to learn about IIR system, FIR system. We are going to learn about it. We are going to see digital filters, how it is effectively useful. IR method by using impulse invariance method, bilinear transformation. IR methods by using Butterworth approximation, Chebyshev approximation. We do have that concept. And we are going to use a frequency transformation, and then we do have FIR filter design. So designing FIR filter design from pole zero, cancellation or placement. By using those concepts, we are proceeding ahead with the equations. How do we obtain that particular equations how do we get that answer? By applying those concepts. Let us move ahead with digital filter, students. So basically what is a digital filter is all about? It's just an introduction part is that to remove or to reduce strength of unwanted signal like noise or the parameters of continuous signal, and to improve the quality of required signal filtering process has been used. To use a channel full bandwidth, we mix up two or more signals or transmission side, or on a receiver side we would like to separate it out in efficient way, so that whatever the signals, so what actually the concept here is, they are saying whenever we do have any kind of signal, students, like a noise, when we try to transmit a signal, what is the meaning of signal, students? When I am transmitting any particular information from the transmitter, it needs to reach out to the receiver, right? Whatever the information we are sending, the same information needs to be reach out to the receiver. If it's happening that particular kind of situation, then that means my system is efficient. If it is not happening, if they're getting some noise in between that, they're getting a lot of problem when we try to transfer the signal, then that system is not to be that much efficient when compared to the digital system, because digital systems are more efficient when compared to the analog, because in analog a lot of disturbance you'll get, a lot of noises you will get. So what actually, why we are proceeding with digital, the reason is that to remove or to reduce the strength of unwanted signal like noise, and to improve quality of required signal filtration process has been done. We are going for filters, students. So to increase the strength of the signal, we are trying to use the filters. To use a channel full bandwidth, we mix up to two or more signals on both the side, at the transmitter and the receiver side, so that they can be done in efficient way. So that's the reason filters are used. So the digital filters are mostly used in, what are the situations that digital filters are desirable, what are the reason for it, how we get that particular part. So digital filters are used for various applications. First is removal of undesirable noise from the desirable signal. So whenever we do have undesirable noise, when we do have undesirable signal and we try to remove from desirable signal, so for that particular situation filters are used. Equalization of communication channels, when we do have a different communication channels, it needs to be equalized, it needs to segregate into a particular form, then we are going with what? Filtration. Signal detection in radar, sonar and communication. For detection of the signal in radars, nothing but we do have a radio navigation, the kind of communication part, we do have radar concepts where we used to communicate and navigate the kind of communication part in the sonars, and when we do have a communication of a target, when you want to set, we go with radar communication, which is a part of microwave. Next we have sonar and communication systems, it's being used. And even in performing spectral analysis of signals, so we do have a spectrum analysis, students. So when we try to find those kind of spectrum analysis, when we are getting the kind of noise in the signal, we'll apply filtration methods so as to get the desired information. So in exam, if they ask why the filtration has been used, the answer is here. This is the 4 points. So filtration very efficiently used for these 4 particular applications. Those are here. First is for removal of undesirable noise from the desirable signal. Next is equalization of communication channels. Next is signal detection in radar, sonar and communication, and performing spectrum analysis of the signal. So for all these particular application, we are moving with the filtration process, which are used to reduce the strength of unwanted signal, that is like noise, and to improve the quality of the signal by applying the filtrations. So you may have come across different kind of filters like LPF, low pass filter, HPF, high pass filter, BPF, band pass filter, BSF, band stop filters. They have learned about different types of filters. So when you are seeing all these kind of filters, you can able to analyze their functionality. We can able to see what's the difference with analog and digital filters, how we can obtain it, what are the parameters your filter is going to depend. As you have seen, right, in your DSP block diagram, you have seen we are using A to D converter, D to A converter, analog to digital converter, digital to analog converter. By applying the sampling theorem, we have seen that also. So in the same situation, we are going to see why the filtration is what do we call effectively it is useful for the particular signal processing, and what are the types of filters we're using, why analog filters and digital filters has been designed and has been used for so long. So that's all the points we are going to see. Now let's see what is analog and digital filtration. So in signal processing, the function of filter is to remove unwanted part of the signal, right? In signal processing, whatever the unwanted signal is there, we need to remove, such as random noise, or to extract useful parts of the signal like desired information, or to remove the components which are completely noisy. So for that particular thing, we are going with filtration. So what is the filtration is going to do? As you can see in the diagram, it is going to use the components such as frequency of the range it is going to use, and they are the main kind of filters are analog and digital. They are quite different in their physical makeup, and how they work, they are also different. As you can see in the block, we use filter, right? We use information input is what? Raw or unfiltered signal. When you pass with the filter, what you'll get? You'll get the filtered output, that is filtered signal. So this is what you'll get, the filtration part done for that particular filter. Okay, so in next class we are going to see more about that. Thank you.